Picks and bans. Game number 1, SK Telecom S versus Team NB. Man, it's going to be back in the Youngsan studio.
It is, and this is where we see how the priority champions for these teams have changed. Of course, Nidalee with her changes to her spear may not be necessarily first pick worthy or ban worthy anymore. Annie, likely a champion you do not want to see. She was already, as we're seeing right there, banned out quite a bit. And she's only strong. That
was supposed to be an Annie ban. That is, okay, for those keeping track, that's the 3rd time now that Anivia has been accidentally banned out instead of Annie. Because the thing is if you look at the Korean characters there, the first 2 character blocks are spelled the exact same as you spell Annie, the champion name in Korea too. So if you type it in and click really fast to ban it, you're going to get Anivia accidentally every time.
Yep.
As SKT1 has learned. There we go. Oh man, using up a 2nd ban on Annie. That is rough.
That is rough. There's the Syndra against Easyhoon. To be expected. This is one of his signature champions, and he's quite feared for it. And with the strength of Syndra right now, you don't want to go ahead and hand that one over. Sivir going to be one of our bans right now. So does Lucian get hit right here?
I feel like you probably want to target him more than Nidalee. We'll see. After the changes to Spear, like you said,
she's still going to be viable. She's just not going to be quite as strong as she was before.
Basically, just a little bit harder to do the damage that you could do before with her Spear. You know, it was easy to throw it and walk away and get that high damage.
There's Rengar.
And there's Rengar ban. Okay, that makes sense. We've seen a lot of Rengar both, coming up in the top level in Korea. And there's an Evelynn first pick, a champion that we thought was going to be banned almost exclusively today.
And also, if you go back as well, Horo did used to play a lot of Jungle Eve when he played under the name Bielzahan. So this is a champion he'll be quite comfortable with returning to the forefront of the meta.
Yep, probably going to be going for that revamped Spirit of the Lizard Elder. And you got to think that it's going to be Lucian Nidalee. We'll see, though.
It would be very strong, but Shyvana is still up, and
Shyvana also a priority pick, definitely.
Yeah, Lucian Shyvana would be a pretty strong first couple of pickups here for NB.
We got used to Olaf being, global ban too. I mean, we may see an Olaf pickup pretty soon here as well, and it is going to be that Nidalee, it looks like, unless they change it.
Nidalee is still strong, even though she can't chunk quite as hard as before with her spears. Running backwards to increase the travel distance effectively. She's still going to be very good in a siege composition with Lucian. So, switching it over to the Lee Sin at the last second.
Interesting, yeah. Okay.
That may be some mind games right there. They may just want to force SK Telecom into a Nidalee pickup. Well, then have a different kind of composition plan.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing, too, is we've been hearing rumors here and there of mid Lee Sin being popular at the high reaches of the Korean solo queue as well. So I doubt we're going to see that, but it is out there. It's being played right now in Korea.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Yeah.
Kassadin's still a powerful pickup as well. Ambition doing quite well on the champion over the course of WCG.
Oh, yeah. And there's the Sona pickup as well, still extremely strong. And are we going to see that Zed switch instead?
This is a lot of burst.
Yes, it is.
This is a huge amount of burst. So if they pick Zed, it's pretty clear they're going to be going for pick composition here.
Yeah.
So SK Telecom all about the sneak up and assassinate.
And I mean, that makes sense. If you, they're going to switch over to Rengar. They're going to have that, or Renekton rather. They're going to have that split push potential.
Yeah, split pushing less effective than it used to be due to the changes to the inhibitor turrets. That's one of the things that I really want to see is like a team like Blaze that we know for split pushing, or SK Telecom T1K, because S has always been, since we've seen them since they debuted this season, they've been all about team fighting. They like the 4-man dives. They like early game team fight play.
Well, Renekton can certainly help you dive too.
Yes. And it helps them take a lot of objectives. And with Marin playing lots of Rumble, that is another kind of sign of where they like to go early on in the game. They'll group up for an early Dragon. They'll group up for an early dive, whereas their sister team much more likely to get vision control and then create picks as the other team rotates.
Well, the Zed pickup for Elf, and it looks like it's going to be singed yet again for Long Panda if he locks it in. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Singed has been one of Long Panda's champions for a long time. And there it is. Locked in. Ooh. All right. Oh, it's just another Cloud Templar tribute. We've seen this before.
Yes, we have.
Here we go again.
Here we go again. So, actually picking up Singe, Lucian, and Zed. They've got a really kind of strange comp going on right now. They've got a lot of kind of lane bullying that is going to go on right here and pressure. I'm not seeing a lot of synergy so far, but I'm waiting to see what the support is that kind of ties this composition together from NB.
Yeah, definitely. I've got a feeling it's not going to be trouble. Just got the sneaky suspicion. Oriana, though, always a good pickup.
Sure. And, you know, not the best way to get the ball into the back line with this kind of composition.
Yeah.
And Vayne, of course, they changed the condemn damage, so you kind of can't get that auto attack that procs your silver bolts off your E anymore. So that actually may hurt her significantly in the laning phase, and I wonder if SKTS is going to go for a 2v1 lane here as a result of that.
We'll see. Ooh, and will we see that Tarek? I mean, a lot of people saying Tarek pretty strong in Season 4 for good reason. I'd love to see Tarek come back. That would just be fabulous and also truly outrageous.
Well, My Little Pony playing Tarek, I don't think there's anything more fabulous
I think
than that.
that's pretty much right. That's true. It doesn't really get any more fabulous than that.
So interesting. A
My
lot of pressure coming out of the dual lane. Tarek Lucian, I mean, with the stun and the Lucian proc on his passive, the burst potential is pretty significant with a lane like that.
Yeah, Tarek's got some nice burst with his passive now as well on that auto attack.
So this is going to set Team NB up for some pretty solid early game lane play. And if they want to win lane, I think they've gotten a good composition to do that, but it's going to come down to Minjay and Elf's presence probably in the duo lane.
Yeah.
Because they really need to make... yes. Okay,
oh,
Soraka.
Cool. All right. Yeah,
All right.
we heard about this. We've been thinking about this one the last couple days.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because you can basically spam spells with Soraka. We've been seeing a lot more Soraka-Graves duos on the Korean server, but with Graves is a lane bully because of his casting, and if you give him that mana, he can trade.
Yeah.
Now in this situation, you can give Lucian mana to just continually spam his abilities, and you can of course get that heal. You combine this with a fast Crucible on Soraka, so you get even more heal, and you just continue to sustain that much harder in the laning phase. She gets a lot more mana, building out a Chalice, and Crucible much cheaper, and it really helps keep your AD carry alive.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's always been one of the things with Lucian early on, is that he is very, very mana dependent. You really can't spam his abilities in the early levels, but with the Soraka on your side, it will be a bully like none other.
And especially against a Vayne Sona lane, if that's how it works out.
Yeah.
Bang and Wolf will probably have a pretty hard time staying in lane.
Yeah. And of course, I mean, Soraka, one of the APs now where the abilities scale with AP, you know, her shield, things like that. I really, really love a lot of the changes they've made with the supports in Season 4, making AP have this utility aspect to it too, which is really, really cool. And we are about to see it, guys. I'm so excited. Season 4 is here, or at least some preseason anyway, close enough. Game number 1, SK Telecom S versus Team NB. Let's get in the game. Nice. The sick intros are back.
I was waiting for
OGN.
that.
Oh, yeah. That was good. I like the long panda signature there. It's like he's writing
in the panda note.
In the panda note. The panda note. He's inside your monitor. Oh, no.
All right. Well, this is to be expected. I mean, most people starting with Ward Totems and solo queue right now here in Korea.
Yep.
One, sweeping lens.
Yeah.
Onto Wolf.
Ancient coin for both supports, too. So rather passive, but makes sense with Soraka Sona. I mean, that's
Yeah,
probably the
certainly-
starting item we're going to
certainly,
see
yeah.
with those two champions.
This
yeah.
is what you would expect. You don't really need
미니언들이
the health or regen. That's probably going to be a little bit more useful on melee supports.
Yep.
And some really clearing right there.
Neat. All right.
Okay, so I mean, this is so much has changed, obviously, in this level 1. We're just trying to keep some eyeballs on it right now. But interestingly, we see a blue pot start from Horo right here. So really looking to put a lot of pressure onto the lanes early.
Yeah.
And kind of go pretty far all in. The other side of this is we see a very big difference. Bang starting with the longsword versus the Doran's Blade start. Since both of those items were changed a little bit,
Right.
Doran's Blade getting cheaper, it's now more of an alternative that you can do because the Doran's Blade just not quite as effective. You don't get quite as much damage. You don't get quite as much health back on attack.
Yeah. I mean, Longsword, though, got a little bit cheaper, too. Allows you to pick up that potion. Wow.
Interesting. And he took Star Call at level 1.
Yeah.
Just to do a little bit more damage, but you can
That makes
see
sense.
how much this bully lane is already coming to an effect right here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty tough lane for Martin to get any CS in.
And look how fast they're pushing already. They're not piling the wave at all. This is actually a very different behavior than we see from most duo lanes. So ASD and My Little Pony going hard really fast here. You can see on the other side of the map that Bang and Wolf are piling right now, so they're going to have a delayed push.
Yep. That's the idea, but already a lot of damage onto that tier 1 turret in top lane by Team NB. And Marin, look at that, comes back into lane, immediately loses a third of his health.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
the spamming of abilities just isn't going to stop.
I like it.
Horo does have an opportunity to make a play right here, though. As you can see, he's looping up through the jungle, and he needs to do something with this blue buff.
Yeah.
But he has to wait for his top laner to at least get another level first.
Yeah, we'll see. You see the fans, obviously, studying in depth as they watch here in the studio, too.
Well, just like all of us, we really didn't know what to expect here
Yeah.
today with just this huge number of changes that were made.
I really want to get a look at these Rune and Mastery pages later, too, because I want to know how to build myself, but also it's interesting to see what people think.
Oh, here comes Horo
That's
around
right.
from behind.
So from behind, they're going to go on to ASD really hard. ASD in trouble already in the Ignite. Ticking down Marin, going deep. There goes the Star Call again. Barrier pop, but first blood is drawn by Bielzahan, a.k.a. Horo now. They force the flash out of My Little Pony as well.
Yeah, that's the danger. I mean, with the few rewards you're going to be getting early on in this game and the changes to Pinks, Evelyn is such a strong pick right now.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to see her today at all, but as you can see, Horo waited for the wave to push back up. Marin hit level 2, and then they all in 2v2 right
Well, I mean,
there.
the reason, the big thing with Evelyn is that where people are trying to learn how to use the new pink wards that are, always visible to your enemies. I mean, Evelyn's just going to run rampant all over that because you're going to have to protect those wards so well that we're just not going to see a lot early on because people don't quite have those sort of systems down to keep them safe.
Yeah, Horo coming in again.
Oh, Elf in a little bit of trouble, taking a lot of damage, gets out, doesn't need to use his flash, but probably will need to go back fairly soon, and it feels like we're back at WCG, doesn't it? It's a pause, guys, that's right. And of course, the crowd is thrilled with this, and why wouldn't they be? I'm the greatest, says his hat.
Oh, there's just so much.
I know, so much new stuff.
So much new stuff to learn and to talk about right here.
So exciting. And this is tough. We've been traveling so much that I haven't even gotten to play a single game of Season 4 yet.
Well,
I've done a lot of studying, but I haven't
we
really
were
gotten
in
to play
Hong
any.
Kong and then China when
Yeah.
the patch kind of switched over here in Korea. So
Right.
we haven't had a lot of time to explore it ourselves.
Sadly, no. Been watching a lot of high ELO Korean solo queue games to try to glean information about what this scene is up to. Oh, she's smart. See, she got popcorn from the movie theater here in the mall. We don't see enough people doing that.
That's how you got to roll. So it looks like a problem, as you can see on your screen, with Marin's PC.
That's right. Team Noob looking enthused. That is a look of concentration.
He's got to focus, man.
He's not going to fall asleep right now. Definitely not.
Well, it's very interesting to see this kind of Soraka pick coming back into the scene. But her base stats were buffed, so she's a little bit more durable in lane now, too, which is always handy.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember the last time I saw Soraka in a game at the pro level here in Korea. I don't think I've ever casted a game of Soraka here in Korea, actually.
It's been a long time since we've seen her. However, I'm sure Krepo's smiling somewhere in Germany about this. One of his favorite champions, for sure.
Fair enough. So, after the death now, Team Noob there. Bot lane coming back, their dual lane rather, coming through, and here comes Horo yet again. Still no pink ward, no vision. They do have one pink ward in the inventory for My Little Pony. A lot of poke going in on Maro. Oh, there we go. Now he's going to throw down the pink ward, I think. Yep, there it is.
Sees Horo instantly.
Yep, and he's going to have to try to defend it here. Pony needs ASD to come back because that ward is going to get taken out, and that is just going to be one of the challenges that we see with these new pink wards that are visible. They're not invisible anymore.
Yeah, but now they've relieved the pressure on the lane, so probably use it to worth probably worth it, you know, right there, just because they managed to chunk down Evelyn and force her back to base as well.
So
they bought themselves some time, some Evelyn free time.
Evelyn free time is always a good time.
And Minjay now coming here. Put on some more pressure now. Team NB, they may have died, they may have given up that first blood, but they have put down a lot of early damage onto that turret.
Oh, yeah, man. It's not going to stop there. So, I want to see, I'm really going to be trying to pay attention to how quickly these supports are picking up our items and what exactly they're going for. Here comes Horo coming in with a 2v3. ASD low already. Minjay having to back up really quickly. Horo just doing a ton of damage at this point.
That's what happens when you get that blue pot first.
Yep.
Really just powering up, and you can see Team NB clustering a little bit right there for the hate spikes. Not the best positioning for that situation, but they are able to heal up and maintain that pressure.
And that turret is going to go down. Marn coming in for last ditch effort to try to save it again, stacking onto the hate spikes is Team NB, but at the end of the day, they're going to lose that turret, but SK Telecom takes their turret first.
Yeah, so they've used a lot. Team NB has used a lot of resources up here in order to try and get this turret. And actually, we see Razors coming out on Minjay. Now, this is the hot fix, so that Wriggles will be a little bit cheaper, but I honestly didn't expect to see that item, Noah.
Well, Wriggles is pretty good.
It is, but it's a big investment with very low combat stats in order for like the hope that you will get to farm back into relevance later.
Yeah.
So it's a high risk, high reward item.
Well, this is Korea. This is a Korean Lee Sin.
Well,
so there you go.
Fair enough,
GG.
I suppose.
Well, Pro's going to get a little bit of chance to farm.
Well, the CS lead's really opening up right here. You can see that across the board, Team NB really falling behind, and in spite of that first blood, they're still 1,500 gold back. Pretty dangerous situation.
Yeah, hasn't exactly been the best start for them yet.
Okay, well, Medallion comes down first onto Wolf, so he's going to get even more gold, even further ahead right now, as opposed to My Little Pony opting for some early magic resist. Looks like he's probably going to build straight into Chalice.
Yeah, it looks that way. And Chalice, I mean, we've seen a lot of supports going into Crucible, and can SKT take this blue buff? We'll see a little bit of poke from ASD, but they should be able to grab it easily unless ASD can steal it. No, we can't, and Horo picks up the blue. But yeah, I mean, we've been seeing a lot of Chalice into Crucible. I want to see Chalice into Athenes on support. That's what I'd prefer to see, Monte Cristo. I think we're going to see that.
I think we will, too.
I think we will. Maybe not this game, but wouldn't be surprised to see some pretty quick fiendish codexes on like an Annie or something like that. Been seeing that a lot in solo queue.
Okay, well, blue will be handed over right now for SK Telecom.
That's right.
And Bang and Wolf just staying in that bot lane, having a little bit of free farm right here.
Yeah. And that's going to be fine. It's going to help Bang get a little bit more of a CS lead. They're going to give the other blue buff over to Easy Hoon. And so SK Telecom really kind of just on top of everything right now. Just solid play, solid mechanics, good decision making. And Team Noob struggling a little bit to kind of keep the pace. And this is sort of what we expected. I mean, there is a difference skill-wise between these teams, for sure.
You know what I really like about these ward totems is, like, as we're seeing right now in the blue side jungle of Team NB, SK Telecom has really done a good job. You can ward a sector very strategically early on in the game for free. So it creates you can make a more specific strategy than perhaps we would have seen before, or you know, you can either ward the entire map, play safe, or you can use all those wards really early on to just take control and make an aggressive play. And I really like that teams now have more versatility in the use of vision early on in the game.
Yeah. And there goes the first dragon for SK Telecom.
And again, they used all the wards they had up early on to make that play. So they are concentrating now around the dragon pit on this side of the map.
I really feel like wards are going to be maybe a little bit more few and far between in the early game, but when they are used, they'll be used much more strategically.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
The other thing, too, is you notice there's a big rotation from SK Telecom because now the dragon experience is only local.
Right, exactly.
So you have to make a decision there. Do we stop the free farming of Long Pen as he's pushing down to our second tier turret, or do we go ahead and give our top laner some of that additional experience from Dragon?
Yeah.
There's just a lot more trade-offs. There's a lot more play and counterplay. And I think that's what's so great about the changes that Riot has made.
I think it's going to result in a lot of really interesting stuff as time goes on. Yeah, with the gold still being global for Dragon, but the XP being local now. And of course, you know, a lot of the jungle minions will level up now too.
That's right. Well, very early, Blade of the Ruined King now finished onto Bang.
Yeah.
He's managed to CS very freely so far in this game.
Yeah, it definitely shows. It is a pretty quick blade. All right. Well, that red buff certainly doesn't hurt either.
No, certainly doesn't. But Bang being given a lot of free time right here. Elf coming down to try and stop the push, but he's pretty safe against the Evelyn. They do have the two pink wards already set up in the river.
Yeah. Now Team NB is going to push the mid lane. Okay. A little bit of damage on the turret there.
Yeah, the issue with Team NB's composition is they really want to skirmish. What they want to do is catch somebody in the jungle and get some sort of kind of all-in burst damage from this Lucian and Zed and control them with Singed. They're not going to be particularly too well built for a team fight, but we'll have to see. They have a ton of heal potential here with Soraka, and the faster she can get that Crucible, that just adds one more heal to her arsenal.
Exactly, yeah.
And
the only cleanse is pretty nice.
And the change to her passive, too, it's very interesting because it rewards her waiting until the last possible moment to heal, which introduces a level of timing and skill in Soraka that is pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, they're in a ward, so they're not going to catch Elf probably, or rather ASD and My Little Pony. You know, the thing is like pushing up this bot lane up to tier 2 as well for Bang, is we saw him just be able to kind of duck into the jungle and take out the white on the Team NB side too, the new jungle camp. And that's going to be just even more you can get from kind of sticking around higher up in that lane.
Yeah, it certainly is. Okay, well, here we go. The push coming in. Culling used to clear out the minion wave.
Yeah. Kind of has to at this point. Got to prevent that damage from going down on a turret. But already, SK Telecom tied on turrets. Only one kill, but still just CS-wise, almost, well, yeah, exactly, 3,000 gold ahead right now. That's a pretty big lead. Long Panda maybe in a little bit of trouble here. Minjay coming from behind, though. Wolf has to back off now. Elf gets a bit slowed by Orianna. Long Panda gets the... Oh, they're going to go on another Long Panda. There's a crescendo. Long Panda and a nice shockwave on top of it. Easy Hoon gets the kill. A little bit of suffering for Long Panda there.
Yeah, solid engage right there. Coming in, starting it with the Blade of the Ruined King, and then chaining that CC very nicely. There's the scanner goes down. Clears out one of the wards from the totem.
Yep, that's right. And we have seen that scanner on Wolf all game long, basically.
Yeah, and we saw My Little Pony and Minjay now swap to scanner.
Yeah. Or sweeping lens.
Sweeping lens.
Sweeping lens.
That's right. Sweeper.
The quicker ward picker upper. Sweeping lens. I don't know.
Yep. So I'm curious if in the late game the scrying orb is going to become an attractive option, because it'll when the face check situation gets really dangerous, that's going to give you a lot to work with. And there's the Talisman of Ascension on the Wolf.
Yeah.
So picking it up pretty early again. My Little Pony does go from the coin into Chalice and then probably into Crucible. So not leveling up his starting support item quite as quickly.
Yeah, just want to stick with that early on, just Ancient Flame. Just a little bit of regen for health and mana, and then of course the GP10 too. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, Spectral Wraith coming down on Horo, of course. Solid item. For caster junglers. I'm wondering if we're going to see some more caster jungler options open up here as time goes on.
Man, when I saw the changes to Spectral Wraith, I was really excited. The idea of some AP jungler sounds pretty cool to me.
Yeah, Marin is played this pretty interestingly. It looked like he was going to be building into a Spirit Visage, but then he just entirely switched up to a Tiamat, so just trying to push as hard as he can and put pressure on. I think he realizes he needs something to clear out the waves because Long Panda is just clearing so quickly at this juncture. Yeah.
Would not surprise me. Long Panda already picking up that Rod of Ages too, so he's not exactly doing so bad himself. But Athene's finished for EasyHoon as well as that Seeker's Arm Guard too, so he's already got some pretty decent items going. Elf's still waiting to finish his first big item. No Blade, no Black Cleaver or something, I guess you could say, if you want to talk about what comes out of the Brutalizer.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Team NB just fell really far behind in the laning phase. Unfortunately for them, so they're going to have to scramble pretty intensely to catch back up at this point.
You know, it's interesting because I feel like we're just kind of seeing these two teams sort of play the game out at this point. You know, there's not a lot of, you know, super decisive team movements going on. It's kind of just like, well, we're just going to sit back and try to almost play responsibly to each other at this point.
Right, and it has been much more PvE this game in general.
Yeah, very passive.
And mostly the active moves have been like taking this dragon initiated by SK Telecom, but due to the CS difference in the lanes, Team NB knows that it's going to be very hard for them to fight in these situations. So look at this, SK Telecom again, all grouping up for dragon right here.
That's right. And here we go, teleport coming in from Long Panda, walks right into SK Telecom though. ASC, what a huge shockwave over the top of everything. Marin doing a ton of damage in the middle of Team Noob, and there goes Bang chasing down Elf in the bot lane. Meanwhile, My Little Pony is galloping off to death. That's double kill for Marin.
I mean, that was an impressive combo for SK Telecom, but again, it shows Team NB was grouping in lane against those hate spikes earlier, and they get caught just entirely out of position. They get a 4-man Shockwave, and I'm pretty sure it chained into a 4-man Evelynn ult as well. And you're not going to win a team fight with the composition that Team NB had after that.
We should change the Evelynn ult name, I guess, now to Long Panda's Agony Embrace. Agony of Long Panda's Embrace? I don't know.
I don't think his embrace is agony.
That's probably true.
I think he's more embraced by agony.
Long Panda's agony is embraced by all of us a little bit.
Let's take a look at that again. So
pretty amazing combo.
Yeah, right here, this is a bad teleport. He gets chunked really early on right here. They're just waiting for it to go down. And he wasn't at full HP anyway, so Bang on the outside. Look at this.
Oh, man.
Bam. Oh, jeez. Everybody gets hit by the Agony's Embrace. And Marin's just sitting there with Dominus on as well. That kind of AoE damage is virtually impossible to win a team fight after that.
Yeah, they stacked the crescendo a little bit with the shockwave, but it didn't really matter. I mean, it was pretty much over at that point. And so Team Noob, or Team NB rather, kind of come back and try to get the spin turret. And another shockwave comes in. Man, EasyHoon has just been so on top of this, but I gotta say, NB's making it easy for him to hit those shockwaves.
Well, there's nothing they can do, really. I mean, honestly, like, a lot of the point of picking this Lucian Soraka, this Singed, is to get an advantage, I think, in the laning phase.
Yeah.
And they don't have very good siege right here. With Singed and Zed. They don't have very good team fights. They have to create plays on individual champions, but against a team like SK Telecom that loves to group and kind of all in you, I don't know if this is the best plan.
Well, it certainly doesn't look like it's working out too well so far. The culling comes down, but Bang doesn't really even take a lot out of it. They're going to lose the inhibitor. And SK Telecom backs off victorious in the mid lane. Elf trying to get a bit of a split push going, but it's just not going very fast.
Well, it's the initiation, too, from the Talisman of Ascension, doing a lot of work right here for SK Telecom to set up the kind of combos that are being very successful for them.
Definitely.
And also, you can see Bang realizes how far ahead he is. So he just bought a giant spell.
Yeah, why not? Long Panda in big trouble here. Wolf comes in. Oh, can't quite get the bloodthirsty support here. Meanwhile, Bang goes in onto My Little Pony after forcing Minjay out. Elf, the only person with really full health by this turn. I don't think he's going to be able to defend it too long.
No, but I mean, Bang makes the wise decision here. He knows how far ahead he is, so he just goes ahead and picks up a defensive item. His damage output is absolutely fine, especially against this team that's just not very tanky.
Yeah, totally. I mean, when you don't really, I mean, at this point, more damage would kind of be overkill for him against this team, against the items that Team NB has.
Right, and he's trying to survive any kind of potential Zed burst that's going on.
Exactly. Yeah, so SK Telecom has just 110% in control of this game. There's really not a lot else to say.
No, well, that's what happens. 15K gold, 12-0 here. Not even a kill on the board for Team NB.
Yeah, Team NB getting a couple turrets, otherwise it'd be a perfect game for SK Telecom.
DFG on Horo now, too.
Wow.
This is getting gross, Stoa.
Yep. Why not? We do see the challenge picked up by Wolf now as well. So you really can see the support's getting a significant amount more gold. I mean, even though he does have 9 assists, you're getting a lot more. I mean, you've got the assist streak thing going for Wolf as well.
Okay, well, Bang decided to buy a frozen mallet.
Hey, it uses a Giant's belt, so why not, you know?
Haven't seen that item in competitive play in quite some time, but that's, I don't know if he would be building that in a closer game.
No, I don't think so.
But it does help him secure his lead. It will help him kite a champion like Zed that's trying to go all in on him.
I mean, he can build Banner of Command on Bane if he wants to now. It doesn't really even matter.
Yeah, that is too true.
Yeah, and we probably will see some Banner of Commands in the tournament, but not on 8.
Banner is strong now.
Banner's really good, yeah. Oh, they're going to go on to Horo, but it's a bit of a trap. The crescendo over the top secures the kill, and Horo, oh, Ignite does not quite work. Thank you, Potion.
And yeah, they'll just go ahead and push this one through right now. They got the pick they needed. Elf trying to make some sort of play to get his team back in the game, but the burst from Evelyn too high, and the help from Wolf with the crescendo.
Well, I know we're getting into the holiday season, but so far, not a lot of happiness for this Elf.
No. He's going to have to go and train harder in his workshop, I guess.
Right, he's going to have to maybe, instead of build kids' toys, build some, like, powerful items. Maybe. Bang's just like, well, I've got a Giant's belt, so I can tank turrets now, I guess.
Well, he'd be right. He'd be right, Joe.
I think so, yeah.
Taking a couple pot shots. Marin now shoving in this wave.
Logman
is teleporting behind.
Right. Ooh, coming in from behind. Interestingly enough, Minjay coming in gets DPS down immediately by Bang. Oh, the power cord slow coming in from Wolf, helping slow up Long Panda. Everybody's walking through the poison, but it doesn't matter. It's about as effective as the fog machine in our studio.
Wow. I mean, this is just total domination.
Oh, boy. Goodbye.
SKTS. And remember that their sister team pretty much dominated SKTS in this way as well. And My Little Pony.
Oh, no, My Little Pony. Oh.
He just stops.
Oh, well.
He resigns himself to die.
Stomp your hoofs twice if you're still alive. Didn't work out. Oh, well. There goes the Nexus turrets, and there goes the Nexus, and SK Telecom T1S cruises to an easy victory in our first game here in preseason 4 on Champions Winter.
Well, I don't know how much we learned about preseason 4 from this game because it was so one-sided.
That's pretty true. I mean, we learned that you can indeed buy more items, and even though we had a 0-4-0 Soraka, she still was able to afford Mikhail's Crucible. So
in a 22-minute game.
In a 22-minute game.
Where her team was down 20,000 gold.
Exactly. So that is important to note, actually, because even in a game where your team is really down, you still are going to have access to some of those good items that, who knows, maybe can turn things around. But not for Team Noob this time. A victory for SK Telecom S.
SKTS looked very crisp. They had nice team fight engages, great use of their ults.
Yep.
And it was a close game for a little bit, but, I mean, after the laning phase, Team NB found themselves in a bit of a hole, and that hole was just dug deeper by some poor dragon fights.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. So, Game 2 coming up between Team NB and SK Telecom S. And don't forget our second match today, guys, the KT Rolster Bullets versus Najin Blacksword. We are only getting started.